Hello again everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10. Look at this, we got a chicken jockey trophy. Very cool. We're starting to get really close to our goal. There's not a whole bunch of items here that we haven't gotten to. A lot of them, like for example this universal terminal, this Galadorian drill, this whole questline from Generator Galore. I think those are the big callouts here. They're all microcrafty, as in this Galgadorian drill requires Galgadorian metal, which has a very specific recipe with clumps and lumps and then an eye. And then even that isn't enough because you also still need to make the hardened drill, which has its own microcraft, and then the basic drill has actually not very much, but still need to make this. That should be pretty quick and easy. There's a couple of mods still on the list that require some sort of ritual or multi-block. For example, Roots Classic is one of them. Forbidden and Arcanus is another one. Immersive Engineering is another one. And then either Create or Modern Industrialization, depending on which of the two routes we choose to go, will be necessary as well. Oh, and also this one, the Just Ire things. But that's just kind of the overview of what's left for this series. What do we still need to do? It seems like it's a little bit of microcrafting, but we still have a couple of multi-blocks to tackle. Honestly, I think the goal for today's episode, let's go ahead and try to get this Tesla coil. This is going to require us to build a few different multi-blocks from Immersive Engineering. There's some of these things, like these things can be automated using engineer's wire cutters. Could create metal presses, we won't need to. To make this bucket of redstone acid is really easy. To make HOP graphite is another issue. We do still need to make treated wood planks. Making this, I think, is a little hard because of the bottling machine that we require here. So there's just a couple different multi-blocks that we need to go and do. So let's go ahead and get to that. All right. I've gotten us a little bit of a flat spot over here. I don't know how I want to design this, but I do definitely want to make like at least a little bit of a platform kind of area to throw all the multi-blocks. Oh, I found oil. Can't believe I didn't see that before. Now, something for us to keep in mind is that we do need to look at chunk boundaries for Immersive Engineering. I have in the past seen a lot of corruption when your Immersive Engineering multi-blocks go from one chunk into another. And I think what that means is that we need to use actually maybe these two chunks, or maybe even these four would be nice to flatten out a little bit more here. Oh, where there's the igloo here. Yeah, I already picked up everything here. I guess I'm going to flatten a little bit more, and I guess I'll be right back. I'm going to flatten out to these two chunks. I've started building like the outline of something here. I just need some sort of building to throw everything in. I want to like have some sort of pattern. I want to add like a roof. That would just be simple. All right. I think this is in a position where I'm happy enough with it. Here's the new building added here. It does kind of look kind of cozy. Should add some details up here actually. Okay, there we go. A little bit better. Adding slightly more detail here. I just want to go back inside and start doing work. So this is a lot of space for us to start building machines. Aluminum plates we can just use this recipe for. It's fine. But I think the first thing I need to worry about is that we should probably start getting creosote oil again. Here are some coke ovens. We'll throw all of our blocks of coals in here. Things are very slow to be creating creosote for us. We'll see how it goes. Let's start looking at some of the other recipes. The aluminum plate is really easy. We'll just use this recipe. I guess we need aluminum essence. Looks like I also need electrum for plates. Thought we would have had that. Okay, I'll be right back. Here's some electrum. Here's a bunch of electrum wire, which we can then turn into spools, or I guess into coils. Is what this is, and then we can turn that into blocks, which is one of the easiest parts here. Looking through this, we need 4 different machines. We need an industrial fermenter, we need 2 refineries, we need a bottling machine, and an industrial squeezer. We should be able to fit all of those in here. This area is pretty big, so I'm going to start with the fermenter first. Here are all the items we need. U-shape with 2 pipes here. This should be this. What do I right click? Something over here, something here, this one in the middle. Oh, I just had to right click it from this side rather than from this side. Yeah, look, I'm right clicking it here But you have to be on this side to right click it. That's so annoying. I've always hated building these machines because of this. Here is a quantum entangleporter. We should just be able to set this to potato and throw it right here and output over here. Please give me potato. Is that what the issue is? This is the input? Yeah, there we go. This is definitely the input. Here's a flux point. I don't really care. Go ahead and use this. This starts giving us ethanol. The ethanol, we need a refinery and we need to mix ethanol with a silver plate to get this acetaldehyde. So we need to take the fluid output from here and make a refinery here. Alright, here's the refinery. Before we get too far, I'm actually going to use the copy paste gadget because I don't want to have to copy this multiple times. I'm gonna hit this with a hammer. There's the output. So we need to output from here and put it into this input. There's the ethanol. And then I just need to give it silver plates. And then it needs power. And this is now working. Okay, perfect. So then this needs to go into another refinery. Oh, we can totally fit another one. Do I have the correct materials? Here's the second refinery. Yeah, how can this thing accept multiple fluids? Oh, over here. I'm being not so smart. It's going down, but it's not making anything. This is output. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Input should be over here, and this is an output. Yeah, there we go. Now we have the resin we need, which now we need to make the bottling machine. Since the bottler is so small, maybe I should just throw it in. Yeah, maybe I just throw it right here because it should fit here. Okay. And then I need to right click this one. There we go. Here's our bottler. Okay. Here's our bottler with a phenolic resin inside of it. Oh, we need this mold. Let's go make this mold real quick. Wait, where did I put my engineer's table? I don't know where my engineer's workbench is. Thought I had it right here. Guess I'm gonna have to make another one. Oh, this is such an unfortunate recipe though. Oh, why did I put it up here? This definitely should not be up here. Okay, found it. Luckily I don't have to make one. None of those are what I need. What do I need? Here's a different blueprint. Here is the plate mold we need, which I think just goes here somewhere. I guess this just goes on the belt. Oh, it does. Yep. Okay. That's cool. And that completes that. So that means we can craft this thing now, which we need vacuum tubes and aluminum wire. I don't know. Here's a bunch of aluminum wire. We need vacuum tubes. Okay, I'm just going to make as many of them as I can. Here are 17 of these advanced electronic components. The last thing required here is the HV accumulator. This recipe, the hardest thing here is the HOP graphite. Once we make enough, we can make the seed, but we do need to start making at least a little bit using the squeezer. It shouldn't be too hard. And we only need 4 to start, so build it right here in this corner. And there needs to be a piston facing downward. I should probably do that first because I do know that this needs to be very specifically facing downward. Alright, here's our squeezer. 8 gives 1, we need 4, so we need to give it 32. Looks like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Oh, duh. I need to do the other thing. Oh no, we also need to make a crusher. I didn't think about that. We can just throw this in the crusher. We can crush coal, but we can't crush that. It's a little unfortunate. This one is gigantic. Should be able to still fit it right here though. There we go. Here's the crusher. Make sure we don't fall into it when it's on. Don't think we carry all that much. So here's a stack of coal. This is loud. Probably turn this machine off so we don't fall into it. Or we could just add a lever. Can I fall into this? Okay, yeah, it's safe. Here is HOP graphite dust. I'm gonna throw this in here. Here are our graphite ingots. Graphite seed. Right, there we go. Graphite is automated. So I think that right there will wrap up the last of the things we need. Now we should be able to craft the HV accumulator, and then we should be able to craft a Tesla coil, which is an important quest in our milestone of getting to crafting this. We're really close to crafting this. Look at this. We just need creator modern industrialization. That about wraps it up for this episode. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.